folks. Hey folks. Hey guys. Okay, so we are live now. Okay. I'll wait for some few minutes and we will start coding our application. I'm thinking of doing Flutter web uh, as it will be really good to test our application if it is responsive or not in Flutter web version. Like just so this I'm not going to create run an Android or iOS application. I'm just going to create run a web version of Flutter application. So let me just start. Okay, so we have a counter application ready. It's how does it behave when we have a responsive design? Well, almost everything internally use a media query and device pixel ratio, so yeah, it will work flawless. Hey pro coach, uh, let's wait for some time and I'll start. Well, I did tried Flutter Web once, and then I will stop working on that. I have one project that I'm working on. I want to. It is actually open source, but I want to improve it and make it live. Let's see. So okay. Hope my editor is visible and every other things. Let me remove these comments. Okay. Mhm. Perfect. Okay, we have removed the comments, we don't need them. Okay, I don't know if we should look for some design or we should just start creating something. Uh, Let me look for some design if possible. Well, I don't have any other monitor rather than my laptop as of now, so I'm searching laptop. Okay, let me go for a dribble. Yeah, let's see what we'll get. Some any kind of design I think will work. We don't need much fancy. We know like we can do any kind of stuff with Flutter, so we'll completely go for basic only. Let's look for it and let's see what we will get. Hmm. I think we should create this kind of UI, like this kind of. like it has one image in the right, form in the left, kind of a contact form, but it will look different in different screen sizes. Like if it is a web version, it will look something like this, and if it's not, if it is a mobile, or whether it's or a, you know um, what it lower ratio than the tablet, then we it will show some other UI. Yeah, so let's do it. Okay, so meanwhile, if you have any kind of query, anything you want to sell, you can sell with me. If you have any question, so you can ask me. So I'm going to remove this home page completely. Okay, I'll create it in another file. I hope I am audible. This is the first time I have tried OBS, and is the reason like I was stuck for few minutes while doing a live. So, yeah. So let's use a scaffold. Okay, so we are not going to create a header part as of now. We'll just create an inner form, any of the one. Okay, well, I have to import over here my home page. Let's go over here. Okay, but still let me add a app bar at least, so it looks something we have did. Okay, yeah, we got an app bar. Okay, let's start coding. I'm starting with the body. Let's have it will have a row that has one image and one form. Okay, so let's have a row. It will have a children, it will have a two children as of now. Let's make a container as of now and just duplicate it. Let's give a color to it. Dot width, okay, so red is the first color I got into mind, get into my mind, my head, like whenever I want to just taste something. So red and yellow is the first color I've, if I checking something out. Okay, I need to use let me expand red. Hey, that's it. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, we got our two containers with different colors. Okay, so how it so first rule, using expanded, actually you can make application responsive, so it will shrink down if you have a lesser size, so it will not give any kind of error. So this is the first thing. If you want your container or kind of stuff responsive, so you can actually use a expanded. Beside of that, there is a widget called flexible 2, so you can also use it. So what will happen over here, expanded gives you a flex. It's kind of a ratio. You want to give it to your container. Let's give it a 1, set 2 and 3. Let's see what it behaves. Okay, so first container has 2% second kind of 2% of this whole screen width, and this container has 3% of this whole screen. So this is how the expanded and flex works. Okay, beside of that, you can also use a flexible widget. It gives you a same functionality, but comes up with this fit property. Let's see what it actually does. So how a if flex is non-zero, if the fit determines whether the child fills the space the parent makes available during the layout. If the fit is tight, the child is required to fill the available space. Okay, so if the if we set the fit to this tight, so it will expanded to the space it has, the parent's space. And if we set it to the loose, it will constraint into your child only. So yeah, that's the main difference for flexible and expanded. You can use either one as you have need. So this is the first step to create your uh, responsive design. Yeah, there are lots of things available in Flutter, like media query. We will see it in live over here. Let me remove this app bar now. Okay, it's gone. let's let's remove this container, and let's no, not as of now. Let's do it afterwards. Let's remove this flex as of now. Okay, so we have a two container as of now. If we see a design, we want one side, at one side kind of a contact form, and at the other side some image or a map, whatever it is. We can go for it. So let's firstly create a form. So we will have a child, and let's follow some rules. We will create a a new widget for wherever needed. Okay, so let's create a form, and then let's name it a contact form. Let's and let's pass it over here, contact form. Okay, inside this contact form, what kind of fields we required is to text box, email, and your message, and then send button, submit button. Okay, so yeah, so we will require a column for that. It will have a children, and let's have a text field. Just duplicate it, and material button will work probably in our case. Okay, and just let's just save it. Let's see what it does. Okay, so we have our text field and probably button somewhere over here. It should be over here, and let me name it. Let me give a child to it. Text submit. My first my goal is to not create a fancy UI. My goal is to create a a, a good code, or the code that will help you to make some UI and make your UI better. So we'll not go for a a really good UI as of now. We will do so in some time, but not yet. I'll also need, I don't know if it has a height. Yeah, it has a minimum width. Yeah, so let me give it a double dot max finite. Okay, so it will have a maximum width available to its parent. Let me give a color for better colors dot. Let's go for a blue, olive blue. Must have missed them. Yeah, so we got a blue color. We want our this form in the center, so we will use the main axis alignment, and we will set a main axis alignment to the center. And yeah, it's working fine. Let's add some hint. Okay, so we will require input decoration. We will require one decoration. In this we will use a hint. Let's name it email, and another hint for this second text box. Let's name it a message. Okay, you get it. uh, the message text box should be higher in the size probably. Can we do it using a max lines or something? I don't know. I never created max. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I never use the max lines. Like I have actually never created a message box that has a box with multiple lines. So I always created a login form only. So in Flutter, yeah, in Flutter. So okay, so we got it. Okay, so if you have a, like a lot of decoration, and so you can actually make a custom field out of it, kind of a custom text field that will using that you can actually optimize your code. So always use a kind of approach to create a custom fields, custom any kind of widget you want to create. So this text field can be a custom one, like you can, so it will have a same decorations and uh, same kind of text style and other stuff. So you can actually reuse it every time with lesser code. So yeah, so as we got our design, let's me try to resize it. What will happen? Okay, so these fields, text fields, and submit, this button are already uses the properties inside from the Flutter itself. So that will make them responsive only. Let's make it some much more prettier. I will wrap our column with a padding, and will make a 16 of padding to all size, to all the side. Okay. And at the other side, what we need is an image or a kind of anything. So let's use a placeholder as of now. We don't want to do anything else. We don't have any image or any kind of, so we'll use a placeholder as of now. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so we got our placeholder over here. Let's also give some margin to, padding or margin to it. The only drawback of Flutter Web, as it is not stable, like you can't use a hot reload feature of Flutter, and that's the only drawback I see as of now. They should implement it. So we got it. Our let's try to remove this expander and then see what will happen. Oops, is my app is running or not? I don't know. Okay, we have to use okay, we don't need a container now, so we will remove it. We will also remove container from over here too. Okay, now still it won't work, as contact form has a text field. We have to, I think we have to wrap it in the expanded or a flexible. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, so actually we will need expanded. We will need expanded. Let me undo everything. Let's save it. Cool, working fine. And now remove the container. Yep, it's working fine. We have removed the containers. Should we put it? Let's. Okay. Now, currently, what will happen if I shrink down this uh, web version? Okay, so it will just shrink from the width, and I want a completely different UI if the screen size is smaller, like a mobile device or something else. So we want something like these forms should be in the bottom, this image or a placeholder should be on the top. So we want kind of a design. Okay, so what we will need is a completely different design from this. Currently it has a row, so what we will need is a column. So let me try to wrap it in a column instead of row. uh, I just need to swap our UI. Let me just do so. Move widget down and it's work. Yeah. And now what will happen? Okay, it does goes like bottom overflow by 27 pixel. We can actually use a single child scroll view or list view to actually don't use a list view, instead use a single child scroll view or custom scroll view directly. um, so this is how the mobile version should look like when we shrink down to this level. Okay. And the web version should look like in a like a row. Okay, so we need a you know two different UIs. So let's name them. Let's create some different widget for them, and let's name them accordingly. So let's name a web version web contact form. Yeah, web contact form or web contact, just web contact. And the second one as mobile contact. Yeah, mobile contact. So that will represent our different UIs. Okay, I'm just going to remove it from over here. I will pass a web contact over here as of now, and in this web contact I will paste my web part over here. I need to import this contact form. I'll also have to do this contact form over here, and we'll need a column instead. Okay, I need to import contact form in over here too. I need to move this contact form below, so move it down, and yeah, perfect. Okay, so now we have different widgets, web one and mobile one. So web one will look like this, and mobile contact should look like this, but when we shrink down width to this side. Okay, so yeah, let's do it. So I think we should actually create a one new widget, that will actually handle all these logics, like which widget to show, a mobile widget or a web widget. And so I think we should create a one kind of a widget, let's name it a responsive widget. um, well, I'm not that pretty much good at naming of variables and naming a widget. What should I do? I should actually let me use a switch. Let's create a enum first. Enum display type. One will be a web, one will be a mobile. let's have a type over here, final display type. Let's name it display type. Let's create a constructor. Okay, initially let's set it to the web. Should we? No, let's not do so. So we actually, do we actually need that display type? Probably not, but let it be there as of now. Okay, so let's make this responsive widget more dynamic. We will actually get our web widget and mobile widget from the parent widget only. We will not hard code anything. So let's use a web widget, mobile widget. Let's use this. Okay, now looks better. Okay, I think we need to use the media query now. So let's create a display type media query. Dot of dot. It has a device pixel ratio, then many more thing. Size dot, what size actually gives us longest side, height, width. Okay, I have one class that actually did this kind of calculation to get the actual display type. Let me actually copy that thing. I have to just find it where it is in GitHub. Okay, by the way, you can follow me on GitHub too if you want to. Let's search over here. It was a blog. Yeah, here it is. So this is the project I'm working on. I want to do something in this project, but I'm not getting much time. So where was it? Yeah, in the details. Yeah, over here. I have did created a enum. Yeah, so this is the class. What it does, I actually copied it from the Flutter library itself. uh, yeah, their gallery app is actually dynamic, or their gallery application is responsive application. So I have actually copied this from the Flutter library itself. Let me copy it once again. Yeah, whenever you copy a course of someone else, do always use their license, as it is belong to them only. Okay, display type dot. Okay, we will create a file called display type dot. We will copy entire code over here. I will explain you what it does. Okay, so it has a one enum in display type, web and in mobile. It has a breakpoint for portrait and landscape. So basically using a landscape, if it is a landscape UI, so it thinks that yeah, it's a web version, and if not, it's a mobile version or a tablet, you can say that. Okay, so 1000, or so the orientation, it will check for the orientation and the width. Yeah, so if the orientation is equal to landscape, and then width greater than landscape breakpoint. So if this landscape breakpoint is 1000 and the width is greater than that, So then it is a web version, and if orientation is portrait and width is greater than desktop portrait breakdown, so it's again a web version, as it will be a mobile. And I'm checking over here, like using this is display desktop, so which one to show, and is display small desktop, like a smaller size, like a tablet probably, yeah. Okay, so it will return a boolean, like we do have a web version, but it's not that small like a mobile device. So we can actually show a different UI for that too, like a tablet, you can say that, for a tablet. So how we can actually use this, we can actually use this display type of, it's kind of util class. Let's use the final. So what it returns is a display type and type. So let's use a switch type. Okay, let me just use add a missing case clauses, and we got a Flutter display type web and mobile. What it is saying, okay, we also created this display type over here, so we don't need it. Okay, now inside this, okay, we will use we will return a web widget, and we will return mobile widget over here. Okay, so our responsive widget has been created. We will use this responsive widget in my home page instead of this mobile contact. Okay, and let's import it. Let's remove this extra unused imports and let's rerun it entirely. Let's see what happens. Okay, we missed something. A build function return a null. The offending widget is responsive widget. Build function must never return a null. Oh, I think we should pass a default. Let's pass a size box dot shrink. Let's see what happens now. Let me just restart it. Must be doing something wrong probably. Did I pass this response? Sorry, extremely sorry. I haven't actually passed the mobile widget and uh, these widgets, mobile contact, and in the web widget web contact, and now it should work for sure. Yeah, it's working. Let's just shrink our size of our width. It's working fine. It does lag, but yeah. So we got our working version of this form. It's not that interactive, but you can make it as per your need. So what we have did right now is we have created a responsive widget uh, that has a one that's calls a one method display type of that comes from over here. Okay, that is copied from the Flutter GitHub repository. They do have one incredible amount of code that you can actually use it for your projects. Like it has a really good examples in it. Okay, so we have some equation over here. Okay, so using that we get actually what display type we have. Display type is a web or not, or a mobile or not. And using this widget, we are actually showing our widget. We don't need a display type now. So using this switch case, we are showing which widget to display and when. So you can pass on. So we have created this responsive widget, so you can pass your any kind of widget and you can play around it easily. So I think that's the basic of, you know, widget. Like, what more we can do? I, I'm not actually getting any kind of idea what should we more do a mode. If you have any kind of idea right now, you can post it in the comment box. Let's see if we can implement it or not, or else we can actually go for some, you know, chit chat, or any kind of if you have any kind of question, if you have any kind of query, so we can go for that. Else I will close the, I will actually stop this live streaming, as I don't think we we can do much more than that if we don't have any kind of fixed design. But the what most needs is a basic. If you got, if you get kind of, if you get idea how the basics works, you can actually not do any kind of work. I don't know if we should create some kind of a UI or not. uh, let's, should we create this UI? It looks simple and it looks easy. We will use you know, default icons and default components from the Flutter only. So we create this UI. Hey chat, if you are, if you will say yes, then I'll create it. Else I'll make a one video, like, you know, designing your UI like effectively, and with you know, following proper guidelines of Flutter or Dart, or how you actually should implement it, how actually you should actually, you know, divide it in single widgets, different widgets, I would say. Okay, tell me in the chat if you want to see live coding of this UI. This is simple UI and you know, looks elegant. And just open it in the new tab. Meanwhile, we can search, we can search on. By the way, how many times you actually go and check out the, you know, GitHub Flutter issues and all the whole Flutter repository? I used to do earlier a lot, but currently I'm not getting that much time, so I'm not actually checking them out. But I used to check out the whole Flutter, you know, library Flutter as SDK, and always wanted to see what they are cooking, what they are doing internally. So this is a data SDK dependency, internals, engine, fuchsia, and all of the stuff. So example is the main purpose. You should actually check this out. Always check a Flutter SDK. They got a catalog, Flutter view, layers, platform channels, platform views, splash screen 2. What the hell in the splash screen? Okay, this is only meant to be run under the Flutter debugger. Uh-huh. I didn't knew that there is a widget called Decorative Box. Actually, I have always actually used a container to decorate something, so I didn't knew there is a widget called Decorative Box. Thanks to this live, I got to know. Let's try it out. I just copy it. A typical developer, I would say. Just copy it. Yeah, this portion. Let me try running it. And instead of our home page, let me run it. As we don't have any kind of material widget or over this widget, so it will show this yellow line. Let me wrap it with the material and let's see if it goes or not. Yep, it does. It looks really cool without the material component, without any kind of material widget. I love these bottom lines, really. Okay, okay, then I think it's time to stop this live. I'll just wait for 2 more minutes probably, and I'll close this live. I will stop this live stream. Let's wait for live chat if anyone actually want to do something. If you have any kind of question, you can ping me. If you want to follow me over on Twitter or Facebook, I don't use any other platform as much as Twitter. I don't use much Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. Even I don't have them right now. Probably LinkedIn and other. So you can actually ping me on Twitter. It's iBhavik Makwana. Let me write it down over here. It's iBhavik Makwana everywhere. Okay, guys. So I'm stopping this stream. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much. Whoever live, please do share, subscribe to this channel. I actually don't do this, but if you want to, you can share this channel. If you want to, you can subscribe to this channel. Typical typical comment like do share, subscribe, like, comment. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining. I'm stopping my live stream now.